Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We've got a nice little animation for you today. If I just roll this up the page a little bit, we've got a little headline here that's growing and expanding, a little background there, and it's going to cycle small to big and keep doing it. If you're rolling around the site, that's going to get your attention pretty quickly. Great if you've got a sale or you want to link to something, get people's attention. Really easy to do. We've got to do a tiny bit of coding for this today, but don't let that put you off. As usual, any coding that I do, I'll put down below the video, and you're welcome to copy and paste it. Use it how you wish. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder so we can start on the front end. Okay, once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work, and I'm just going to delete this section and we'll start from scratch. Blue tab for a section, green for a row, dark for a module. Let's trash that and we'll start again. Okay, we'll put it wherever you want it. I'm going to put mine in between these two little sections here. Just click on the little section, hit the little blue button for a new section. I'm going to use a regular section for mine today. Inside, I'm going to put a single column with a single row. Divi comes as standard with all the light grey modules you see here, plenty enough to build just about any site. The blue ones here are from a plugin called Divi Supreme Modules, which is awesome, but we're not using that today for this particular feature. I'm going to go ahead and put in a regular text module, Divi Text Module. Okay, there it is. So what we want to do, let's just roll this up a bit, is just give it the title that you want here. You can actually turn it into a title if you want to by doing this. It's not a bad idea. So I'm going to say, why awesome title. Really imaginative. And let's turn that into a heading 2 perhaps. Or of course a heading 1 if it's the real subject of your page here. Let's turn it into a heading 2, that's fine. If you want to put a link in, perhaps you've got a sale on and you want to direct them to your sale page, you can put your link in down below here. Simply put the link in there where you want to take them. Always best practice if you're linking to your own site, keep it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somebody else's site or a different website, open it in a new tab. That way your site stays open. Not going to put a background or an admin label in. Let's go over to our design now and make our text how we kind of want it initially. So we made that a heading 2, I believe, and you can go down to heading text and find it that way, or you can hit the little paintbrush icon right here. Just click on it, it'll take you right there. There we are on heading 2. I'm going to use a slightly different font for this, something a bit more blocky. Divi comes as standard with an absolute crazy amount of fonts, it really does. And to audition one, just go in there, hover over it, it'll give you an example of it. I'm going to use one called Anton, which is what I used before. There we go, right there. Fantastic. And I'm going to make mine bold. I'm going to make it all uppercase. I'm going to make it a lot bigger. So I'm going to roll down just a little bit. I'll make mine initially purple in colour. Obviously make yours whatever colour you want. I'm going to make it an awful lot bigger. Something like that. I think 67 is what I used before. I'll stick with that. And I want it to be in the middle, so I'm going to align it in the middle there. Okay. Well, you can leave it just like that if you want to. I'm going to put a little background in the section just to show it off a little bit more. So I'm going to go into the section, the blue tab up here. And I'm going to pop in a background. And I'm going to use a gradient today. You've got color, gradient, image, video, background pattern or background mask. I'm going to use the gradient. And Divi's just upped their gradient game, so you can put in as many stops as you want nowadays. There's a regular one. Let's just put a black up top and bottom. Just click on the color to change it. Choose the color you want. And I'm going to add perhaps a white or a blue or something like that in the middle, just to make it a little more interesting. And I just clicked on the line there. Just click on the stop that you want to change color. Let's try a blue. I think that's probably what we used before. Let's try a white. Yeah, it actually stands out better like that. Okay, that's fine. I also wanted to put a bit of text shadow on there to make it stand out just a little bit more. But of course that's up to you as well. So let's save this. And we'll go back into our little module here. And let's just add a bit of text shadow. Again, you can just go to it, hit the little paintbrush, it'll take you straight there. If we roll down a bit, here we've got text shadow there. Great, well that stands out fine. So we need to make it animate now. The first thing we need to do to make it animate is give it what they call a CSS class. That gives it a name that we can use to target this specific module. So still in our text module over here, let's go over to our advanced. You've got CSS IDs and classes. We want to use a class today, not an ID. It would work with an ID, but we're going to use a class. And let's give it a class of, say, text. I'm going to say txgrow, because that's what it's going to do. So I'm going to call mine txgrow. You can call yours what you want, but it wants to be unique. And it's a good idea if it means something to you when you see it. It's kind of my shorthand for text grow. That way, if you see it in the inspector in the code, you'll know what it is. Okay, well, we've done all we need to do right here. Let's just save our changes. And for our next bit, we need to write the code in our customizer. To get your customizer, go down to your dashboard. Roll on down to appearance, themes, and there's the customizer right there. Click on your little customize. And it's taking us to this page here. Now I need to refresh because this is showing my old one here. It's because I've got it open over here as well. I've actually temporarily put my page as the home page so you can see what's going on when I'm coding. You don't need to do this, but I'm just doing it so you can see it on the right hand side here. Now once you're in your theme customizer, where we want to write the code is the additional CSS panel. So let's just delete that. I've got it open right here. Here's the additional CSS. I want to go ahead and delete the code that I've just written for it. And let's quickly refresh this again. Okay, well let's go down. I'm going to move that code for the blurb to image animation we did before out of the way so there's no confusion there. Always a good idea to give your code a title. A title is /*/. Anything that you write in between the stars will not be read as code. It's a great place for titles and also notes and things like that. So let's say txgrow animation. Okay, well we gave it that class name and the class name was txgrow. All class names have a dot or a period in front of them. So it's dot txgrow. And what do we actually want it to do? We want to open close some curly brackets, and inside we can tell it we want to animate it. So I'm going to say animation. Then we want to give the animation an actual name. So let's give it colon. And let's just call it, I'm going to call it text for and scale for text scale. I can't call it the same as our class name there, but I can call it something similar. That again is going to mean something to me. Now the time it takes for this animation to run, I'm going to put mine to say 15 seconds. Obviously you can do it quicker or slower depending on what you want to do. And I want it to be infinite. I want it to keep going on and on and on. So I'm going to say infinite. Great. Put a little semicolon there. Now we've got to actually create our animation called TX scale. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to drop down a couple. I'm going to say at keyframes because that's what we're using to build this animation today. Keyframes. And we'll give it that name. Now we can open and close some curly brackets. And inside we can put our percentages of that 15 seconds, what we want things to do. So at 0%, when the page actually loads, let's open and close some more curly brackets here. I'm going to be using transform scale today. Transform, colon, the word scale, no gap at the end, some round brackets, and how much we want it to actually scale. So when the page loads at 0%, at second 1 of our 15 seconds, I don't want it to scale at all. So I'm going to leave it exactly how it is, which is 1. Now you can do different sides. You can do width and height differently. You could put width 1, comma, height 1. But if they're both the same, you just need to do the 1. And of course you can do different sizes for width and heights by comma separating if you want to. Great, well that works. Let's put a little semicolon on the end there. Now I'm going to copy this a couple of times, or as many times as you want really, to create the effect that you want to create 3 times is going to do for me. So I'm going to copy that twice and paste it. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, let's just roll this up the top. And let's say at the 50% mark, which would be at the 7.5 second mark on here, I want it to be about 3 times the size. As soon as I put this in, it should start scaling up. And there we go, it started animating. And let's move down, and at 100%, I want it to be back at 1 again. So let's publish our changes here. And here's our original page. When I refresh, our little title should start animating. And there it is. Like I say, that's a pretty eye-catching little feature to have on your site. If you want to, you can check it on responsive devices. Let's enable the Visual Builder. And let's just go down. Just going to take a bit of padding away from this row, top and bottom. By simply putting a 0 in there. That way, that text will actually be buffered up and down against it. Now you see a little bit of it spilling out the side there. We can get rid of that by turning the overflow off on our little row here. Or if you like the effect of it spilling over, you can leave it just as it is. But if you want to have that not show outside of the section, we can go into our section. See, it's just slightly spilling out there. If we go into the actual section itself, the blue tab, we can go over to Advanced Visibility. And I'm going to change the horizontal and vertical overflow both to hidden. That way you won't have anything spilling outside of that section right there. Okay, well I wanted to check this on responsive devices. So we've got to go into our little module here, the Dark tab, which is also growing as you can see. If you have trouble getting to it, you can get to it on the back end by using wireframe mode. There's our little text module. You can just go in that way if you want to, then flip it back to desktop mode. And let's go down to our heading text again, heading 2. And let's have a look at it on mobile devices. Heading 2 text size. This is common to most Divi modules. If you hover over the dark writing there, you'll see some little icons appear. If there's a little mobile phone, we can check it on tablet. Let's roll down and find it. There it is. It's actually not too bad on tablet, but if you wanted to make it smaller, you could do by just giving a separate value here. And on mobile, let's have a look at it. And again, for me, that actually works quite well. We've cut off this overflow, so on the front end, it won't look like that. It won't spill out like that. And I'll demonstrate. Let's save this. We'll save our page changes. And exit the Visual Builder. There we go, there's no overspill there, and if I look at it on a mobile device too, I'm using Google Chrome, so if I hit F12, I can get up my responsive devices here. Let's roll down. Here it is on the iPhone 12, and as you can see, it's not spilling out of that section. It'll zoom back down again. And that's fine. If you wanted to shrink the text and make it smaller, you could do, but that actually works for me. With that overflow hidden, I think that's quite a nice effect. And you can check it on a tablet on this side too. Say an iPad Air. Let's make it big enough. And that works fine on there too. So that's great. Okay guys, well there we have it. There's how to create an animated headline for your website. Really easy to do, and like I say, the code will be down below the video for anybody that wants to use it. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.